Hello and welcome to Fellowship of Geeks. I'm Jim,
I'm Diane.
and today we're going to be talking about our 3 favorite things in 3 favorite categories from GenCon 2025.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell us what your favorites were as well.
So our first category is what you did, who you saw, who it was, like kind of a broad what you engaged with at GenCon. What was your favorite thing you got to do, see, be a part of at GenCon?
I think one of my favorite things this year was going to the seminar called Battle for the Soul of D&D, hosted by Ben Riggs, who wrote Slaying the Dragon, A Secret History of Dungeons and Dragons, which we've listened to on audiobooks a couple of times. And this kind of took, from where that ended at the WotC sale, this took WotC's sale to Hasbro and started in 2001 and brought it forward, and kind of what's happening and what's next. I was lucky enough to be able to stay after and be one of the 3 people he answered a question for. Talked to him a little bit about what does franchise and moving forward, putting D&D all under one household for Hasbro, what's that going to mean? Is it going to save its soul or not? So that was a great seminar.
And will it fix some of the ongoing problems in the cycle he talked about, which I thought was really interesting as well. So
how about you? What was one of the favorite things you did?
Mine was also a seminar. I went to the How to Have a Kick-Ass YouTube channel with Professor DM. Love his channel, love his content. A lot of great D&D content and stuff. And he had some other celebrity YouTubers up there with him, sharing their tips and tricks for how to have a great channel. Just really informative. And I mean, it was such a quick hit, and it was packed. We were practically shoulder to shoulder in there. A lot of good tips, so hopefully we will continue on our epic journey to have a kick-ass YouTube channel. All right, next up, the favorite thing you ate at GenCon. And I knew this one was really, really hard because we had some good meals, some good snacks, just really, really had a lot of good stuff to eat.
This one was really hard, and personally it's sometimes hard to separate what was the best thing I ate from who did I fellowship with it while I ate. We definitely go to GenCon to see people we know frequently, along with everything else that goes on, but who we know becomes a high point. So we ate a lot of food with other people. My favorite, hands down, I think, was fresh, hot, glazed donuts from Hometown Mini Donuts out in the block party. They were one of the food trucks there. It was mid-afternoon, and you went on search of something for me to eat and came back with that, and it was exactly what I needed in that moment, and I ate the whole thing and powered me through the rest of the afternoon.
And that had been a busy day, and that wasn't quite real food. And so if you want to check out our How to Thrive at GenCon video, if you're preparing for any convention, we talked about eating real food, and certainly my favorite thing, yes, I focused on some real food. I was walking through the food trucks looking for something that didn't have a giant line early in the morning. It was not Island Noodles because they weren't open yet, or they would have had a giant line. And so I found the Overgrown Pasture food truck, and they're a farm-to-table food truck, and they had the breakfast Sammy. And it's not some little squished croissant sandwich with a little piece of sausage and egg on there. I mean, this thing was a good-sized handful, and you'll see how big my hands are in a minute with my favorite thing I acquired at GenCon. And
I think it had 4 eggs. It was huge.
It was a huge thing of eggs. There were 3 slices of like smoked country ham. There was cheese. There was like a honey mustard sauce on it. The croissant was fresh and crispy. I mean, it was absolutely delightful. I devoured all of mine. You had half-ish of yours, and our not-so-little guy, he was glad to help out finishing that off, but took a little while throughout the day, so remember to have a piece of Tupperware on your backpack for our future thrive, not just survive at GenCon. All right, and last but not least, what is the favorite thing you acquired at GenCon? I mean, we had quite a haul of goodies. So what was your favorite thing that you came home with?
My favorite thing I came home with is the Logmasters deck book, to log your story ideas from the story engine. We've purchased I think the first year we purchased their entire collection. They're story cards that you place together like a deck building, and they can help you develop a character or develop a setting or develop an entire story or a plot for your RPG, or as a writing mechanism. They also have a homeschool curriculum section, but this was the logbook they added to help keep track of what your story is. I love that it's binder style. You can add extra pages. It's a hard back, so you can write easily on it. The magnetic cover. Loved it. Story Engine is absolutely one of our favorites.
And it was really cool because they have an even bigger like box set with all their stuff called the Lore Masters deck. And the journal was kind of an add-on to that, but I mean it has everything. And you mentioned some of the things you can also do world building, and I find it great if there's a piece of the story, or like I have a piece and I need a couple others for when I'm running games or making a character or something. Like I have most of the pieces, and I can go through and use that and find that missing piece, or I have a piece and I need to flesh it out. It helps me with that, so it's great from that point of view as far as, you know, creating whatever you're writing, thinking about whether it's just a character or it's an entire, you know, world.
So I love the logbook to keep track of what you've done and where you're going next with the story. So what was your favorite purchase?
So speaking of colossal things, my favorite was make sure my glare's off my camera there, the Titan die from Gatekeeper Games. And I mean, this thing, it truly is. I mean, I can get two hands around it, but it's not too terribly easy, and it has some certain weight to it. Hopefully you can hear it when it thunk down on the desk.
There's some weight. What did they say? A whole set? Because you can get a whole set of dice.
They had a whole set, and they had 4 or 5 different color schemes, and they ran from $675 to $1,000 for a full 7 die set. This one, I'm embarrassed to say, I'm not going to say what I paid for it, but it was a pretty penny. But I mean, it's worth it.
What did a whole set die weigh?
It was 10.6 pounds.
There we go.
For the entire 7 die set, and I mean that one's pretty hefty. And I joked with John from Gatekeeper Games that you need a big sling to use that one. I was like, oh, you need a sling, you need a catapult to throw that and use that as a martial weapon. You don't want to be rolling this on some flimsy card table. True. You definitely need a sturdy table to roll that bad boy. But I absolutely love it. I saw it when he had it in the newsletter, and I'm like, oh, I must have the Titan die. It was absolutely a cool piece to acquire and add to my collection of Gatekeeper game dice. And it's got the kind of the half-C scheme there. It's, you know, the psychic. It's got the purple and the blue, if that shows up decent there. Get it? Yeah, there's some of the purple there on the bottom. So in their half-C scheme, it's got a little bit of sparkle to it that you cannot see. I can barely see it. It's not. It's not too terribly glittery, but it is. It's absolutely incredible. So had to add that to my dice collection. I had some big ones before, and that one is just it's a monster. It truly is a Titan.
Truly is. Well, I know that we're going to have more content. I mean, GenCon was the 4 best days in gaming. It is hard to summarize in a couple of minutes. So we will be getting more information and content out about all the fun we had, all the things we saw, all the other things we ate. But there's our top 3.
Great. Thanks for joining us today, and stay tuned. We will have more GenCon after content coming up soon. Thanks for joining us.